So if you look at it, Pixit Media, what we are trying to do, we are kind of trying to create an universal storage profile between the data and the applications, right? So typical users will be a content creator at the more technical user who's really, as I said, struggling to manage his data and applications over a slew of hierarchical ecosystem, storage, networking, commodity, all of that. So that's our typical end media content creator, broadcaster, live or prod. Pixit Media is, of course, as the name suggests, a media company. It serves all M&E media and entertainment customers, and it provides integrated media workflow solutions that helps the end creator in post-prod, live, and broadcast.
Well, I've been to NAB for a number of years. I look around the show, and there's any number of companies that meet that description. Why did you start the company? What problem are you trying to solve?
So we want to focus on the content creator. We want to focus on the end user, who's at the end of the day is having this tough time managing. He has to get his job done, but he also has to manage through the complicated ecosystems. He's probably bought a lot of vendors, a lot of siloed or layered software over years, and he has to navigate through all of that to get his job done. It's that creativity we are after. How do you make his life better? That's kind of the differentiation. Now, really, if you think about it, the creativity increases if you can help him really use his application more, where he's taking that piece of media asset to make it that much better for his audience.
But let me come back to you, because a lot of companies say they want to make the creative life better. What specifically are you doing that will make it better?
So we try to look at media collaboration, the collaboration. It's not just one creative company. It's not one creative unit. It could be across a geographical region, multiple creative units. It could be a lot of applications that these people have to work on. So where we differentiate is really three areas. How do we provide better media asset collaboration? How do you provide better media data orchestration so the data shows up where it's supposed to be at the creator's end? And how do you provide this data management against this data locking that has happened over a period of years due to multiple vendors? Really manage the commodity back-end infrastructure for him so he doesn't have to worry about it.
So how would you define your typical customer? Who would be the person most likely to benefit the most from Pixit Media?
So if you look at it, Pixit Media, what we are trying to do, we are kind of trying to create an universal storage profile between the data and the applications, right? So typical users will be a content creator at the more technical user who's really, as I said, struggling to manage his data and applications over a slew of hierarchical ecosystem, storage, networking, commodity, all of that. So that's our typical end media content creator, broadcaster, live or prod.
We're hearing that word AI, artificial intelligence, and all of its different forms bandied about here at NAB. Are you using AI in your products?
Yeah. So we are looking at AI at a different way. We are looking at AI as an enabler technology. I know the world is doing AI washing quite a bit here, like we used to do cloud washing back in the days, and then people figured out how to really use cloud, what is cloud. Similarly, we are looking at a more, I would say, mature way of looking at how can AI really help. And we figured the way we have integrated AI in our technology is to enrich the description of the data, enrich the metadata for the asset, so you can take so much more decisions. You can run so fast searches and find that asset. So find that asset, analyze that asset, classify that asset. AI is that tool that runs in our whole product stack from ingest it to all the way to the data management layer. Our AI tool adds that extra value to the data, which we call metadata.
There's a lot of pressure in our industry right now. There's a lot of economic pressure in terms of where jobs are going, and some sectors are losing jobs and other sectors are gaining jobs. Where do you see growth in our industry today?
When you talk about growth, you look at trends and tailwinds. And with the advent of new generative AI and other concepts, the growth is really going to be more across how do you really look at that 4K, 8K ultra videos. the storage size is increasing. Hence, the resolution side is increasing. Hence, there's more data getting created. More data would mean, of course, a data deluge when it comes to unstructured and semi-structured data. That's one. And then you got how do you find this data among this data ocean? Then you got analytics, which is also then going to increase more. How do you find the data? Where do I know where my data is, my asset is? And it's such hard, it's time consuming. And I think those trends across, whether it's 4K Ultra, resolution, a higher number of storage, more cameras, or more efficient to take better pictures, that will drive the trend. Hence, this processing technology, the content creators would be even more complicated. And that's kind of where we feel this. And this will all be helped by generative AI and regenerative AI.
What do I need to be able to use? I assume it's software. What
It
do I
is
need to be
software.
able to use your software?
So it is hosted locally. It can run also on the cloud. So you could have a geographical content creative sites of different proportions at different places on the planet. It's software as in on-premise, and it's all the AI runs on on-premise AI because we care about the customer data not bleeding out into the cloud. That's his own data. So mostly it's an on-prem solution which can use the cloud hyperscalers or any other cloud to move data around wherever the customer side is.
One of the challenges in any new company is that the media industry is very resistant to change. It's quite comfortable with what it's always done. How do you break through that mindset that something different is actually better? And you're a startup, which makes it doubly hard.
I understand when you say media industry has been sticking to the old software, it's not or resistant to change. And resistance to change is a natural thing for any person or company anyway. But it's about changing is the way to change yourself. And so really it's about the amount of infrastructure that goes in, the amount of vendors that media industry has picked up, it's a lot. And I think where vendor to vendor integration has not happened here. And so I think this is where we are trying to come out and talk about ourselves is how do you really solve this ecosystem problem? So our job is to not go and change and saying just use our software, you don't need anything else. Is how do we really participate in the ecosystem that the customer already has and make his life a little bit better?
Windows, Mac, Linux, or all of them?
It's a Linux-based infrastructure software, but at the application level, it can support all of them.
What's the one thing you want people to know about Pixit Media? If you were to do, this is the most important reason to consider us, what would you say?
We are trying to move away from these layers of technology that the media industry has created. Pixit Media is all about that one experience in the workflow, where from the ingest, where the media asset lands on a piece of software, to all the way into archival storage, through orchestration, we can take care of all the work that's needed to be done for the content creator to really do the work that he needs to do, soup to nuts, from ingest to file system to archive to data orchestration without doing data locking. So anywhere the data is, the content creators can be accessing that data without any proprietary solution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.